2024 at 4 p.m. Timberon Community Center, i.e. the Lodge, 1 Bob White Circle, Timberon, New Mexico. If you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The salute to the flag of Mexico.
I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Thank you. Roll call. We have our general manager, Otis Price. We have our board member, Jesse Duckett, treasurer, Dave Crew, chairman, Ed Hardesty, vice chair, and Nan, secretary, present. We need an approval of the agenda, please.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda as written.
A second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Agenda approved. Manager's report, if you would, Mr. Price.
Sure. Past month we had 14 work orders to grade road.
Turn on your mic.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
All right. Is that good? Past month we had 14 work orders to grade roads. We got 11 of them done. 8 facilities and service work orders. Those are all done. 12 line breaks we took care of. Some of them were large and took quite a bit of time. 8 meter reconnects, 27 meter disconnects, and we replaced 6 meters. Residential use was 15,477,196 gallons. That's 604 active meters. We found where people have been actively stealing some water off of meters that have been shut off, but I guess people show up and turn them on. And I don't think since they were shut off they've been monitored, but we're assuming approximately close to 1 million gallons been stolen in the last 9 days. Some good news. We've while looking through past emails and meeting with some grant writers that I've had meetings with, was able to meet with Lauren Gresbeck, who's a grant writer for CloudPro, and she pointed me in the direction of a number of places that fund grants for our type of work and what we do. And then also I contacted some of the engineering firms we've used in the past, and I was able to contact some of these funding sources and ask what we need to do to be able to get these grants written. And they just said, you already have grants. You already have money allocated. And there's a considerable amount of money. And so they sent me the details. We have a lot of things we have to do to get some of this stuff. Like we have one grant from the Mexico Environmental Department for $250,000 for water system improvements. We have another grant for $268,004 for a water storage containment reservoir, and we haven't filed the paperwork that they need, the compliance paperwork that they need to be able to release those funds. That's money sitting there waiting on us. And there's another one, engineering firm out of El Paso and Houston says we've been awarded $500,000 from another entity, and she's trying to find me information on that. I took over 2 weeks ago, and there's 17,544 unread emails in that email account. So it's kind of hard to go back and try to piece things together, but we are finding some good things. To be in compliance, to start receiving this money, we're basically looking at 3 things. They need a procurement officer and the document for documentation and certification. And the next classes for that is in February. So we'll definitely have somebody in that class have a procurement officer. They need compliance forms on the financial side, and they need compliance forms on documented inventory management. And so those things we're already working on. As far as the inventory management, we've already had field staff working on that. And I'll have to get with you guys with the other compliance. So we've got money sitting out there waiting on us. We just gotta get our act together. So that's gonna be good. Had some good meetings this week. Met with the Otero County road superintendent, Tom Porter, and one of the operators, Mark Quick. They came down and we got a lot of things worked out. We met with Tony McWilliams on the PWSD land. We found a place where we can start going together in a joint venture to access a lot of road grading material, a lot of road-based material. And it's not approved yet through Otero County. They've got to get a MOU, a mutual operating understanding to the attorney. But once that goes through, both Otero County and PWSD will have plenty of road-based material to start filling in these roads and all these problem areas and these mud holes that we've got.
Our lakes and ponds. Our road lakes and ponds.
Road lakes and ponds. So that was awesome. Another thing that was good with that meeting is Otero County has a lot of. We just spent $400 on 20 cones. I mean, people are using our cones for targets in the road, or they're not seeing them or whatever. And cones can be hard to see coming around a blind curve at night. But Otero County has a number of barrels, hundreds of barrels that don't meet their compliance to be used on highways. And so we're borrowing from their scratch dent pile, and I've got 15 in the back of my truck right now. So we can start utilizing barrels, and
those are the orange roadside barrels.
Orange roadside barrels. They're going to be a lot easier for everybody to see, especially at night. They're going to protect our work areas a little better. So that's great. We'll be able to pick up more of those as we need them. I met with Tony McWilliams at the golf course and around town from the fire department side, and showing me some of the firehydrants that aren't up to speed. We need to do some work to have them produce more gallons per minute. He showed me a number of areas where we need a little bit of improvement to be able to facilitate better fire, more water for fire control around town. We talked about the lakes. There's a lot of different. We put together a bullet list of things improvements that need to happen, and I'm going to try to work those into the grant. So that was good. And I think that's about it that I have.
Okay, we're going to talk about not the hedgerows, the long roads.
Yeah, I was going to do a Facebook post on that too. So one thing Tom Porter, road superintendent, mentioned was that along our roads, where they stack the material on the sides of the roads, the big rocks on both sides, they call those windrows. And he's having a problem with people with backhoes and their skid steers coming and taking that material. And to the average person, you would think, well, they're not going to use big rocks like that for the road. Well, what they do, the grader comes and scrapes all of that material onto the road. The big rocks fill in the hose and the runout areas, the drainage parts that are damaging the road. And in with that is good dirt and smaller gravel. And so they flood the road with these windrows, put it all on there, then they raise the grader blade 2 inches, push the big rocks off, then you got 2 more inches left on your roads. So every time they grade, they should be building our roads up instead of taking them down. But if people are taking that material, they can't do that. So that was one of the things he wanted to. Yeah. Yeah. So and I'll put a Facebook post. I'll take a picture of what I'm talking about. Put a Facebook post so people understand. It doesn't look like it's road material, but it is road material, and that's how they.
These things are waste. They come with pickup trucks and shovels and just take it.
Yes, they do, and that affects us. And so another thing I wanted to say is, they have, I forgot how many hundreds of miles of roads they have to take, they maintain, and they go where they're appreciated. If we could just spend a little more effort into saying thank you, take a cold bottle of water out to the operator and whatnot, and make them feel appreciated down here, it makes it a whole lot easier for them to choose the Timberon any of those hundreds of other ones that they're gonna do during the day. They have a schedule, but it's flexible. And he does try to take care of us. I don't know if you guys noticed this last snowstorm. The county side of our road to Cloud Cross was done early in the morning. But the state was the end of the day, and so they take care of 82 first. They take care of 130, 131, and 244. And so 65, 63 is the last on their agenda for the state. And so, but Tom at the county takes care of us. I learned a lot from that guy. I intend to learn a lot more about roads. He's pretty sharp on the roads.
Don't they just clear till the sunspot?
The state clears to Sunspot. The county clears from Sunspot to here.
We used to always get cleared to Sunspot first, and then the county got out here later. But it's just reversed now. We're getting the Sunspot highway cleared, but not the 65, 63.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they coordinated, so we're open up there. Once again, they have, look, that last snowstorm, they put a lot of material on the ground fast, so I understand they were about that.
What is Tom Borders you guys doing about the people stealing material off the road?
He didn't have a suggestion, just advise it, get the word out that they need.
Put it in a public bulletin.
If we can figure out what to do at that time, because 3 or 4 years ago, just an example, we reported this to Tom 3 or 4 times, and they didn't do anything.
I don't know what they can do.
I don't know what we can do.
All we can do is make the public aware that material may not look like road material, but it is. So
we talked to the people, and we even talked to the people they were employed by, and still didn't stop. Well, it might have stopped now. Have you noticed any lately?
No, I'm not aware.
We can figure out what to do.
Once we get this, so this is going to be after the first of the year when this joint venture takes place, and we compile these amounts of road base over on TWSD land. And once we get those set up and available for us and them to use, it's going to make all the difference in the road. We'll be able to dump truck it out, hopefully fill in all the mud holes around town, and then blade it out and make our roads nice.
Thank you, Louis. Very informative. Moving on with our treasurer's report. We have our facts and figures and numbers.
Oh yeah, these are fresh off the bank as of 1 minute ago. So does this work? Yeah, it works. F&S account, $40,972.21. The operational checking account is $41,337.65. USD construction loan pass-through account is $850. USDA debt service account, which is $3,737.46. USDA short-term asset replacement account, $167,075.24. Water restricted reserve account, $50,102.37, and water standby account, $13,707.90. And that's it.
Thank you. Okay, moving forward. Old business. Discuss approved minutes of November 7th. Special meeting. We need a motion on this.
Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the November 7th special meeting as written.
We have a motion. We have a second. I'll second. All those in favor? Aye.
You guys can't have all three, that's really back five and second reading.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Old business minutes are approved. Item number 2, discuss approved minutes November 12th regular meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes of the November 12th regular meeting as written.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it. The meeting minutes approved. Item number 3, discuss approve 2 transfers of $20,000 each to the general operating checking account, one November 2024 and one in January of 2025 for payments to the Rhodey Law Firm. And we're going to get real close to getting this thing paid off early next year. We're making giant strides. It's really taking the wind out of ourselves financially, but the sooner we can get through this, we'll come out the other side a lot better for it. So we need a motion on it.
Well, I'll make a motion that we discuss the, I make a motion that we
approve.
but we need to discuss it first. But we have to have a motion in a second before we can discuss it.
No, we can discuss it and we can get an approval.
Then we have to have a motion and a second.
Motion is second, then discussion.
The discussion.
Okay.
So I make a motion that we discuss this 2 transfers of $20,000 each to the general operations checking account. One November 24 and one January 2025, and that's to pay Rhodey Law Firm.
Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Well, we have to discuss it now.
Okay. We all carry on. Not the way I used to do it.
All right. We talked about this at last meeting, but I was looking at the history of that. What would you call it? The special restricted reserve account, something like that.
Yeah, the $50,000.
Yeah, and it's got 50,000 in it now.
What do you think?
Right, reserve. I was just looking at the history of that. The balance is Jesse just reported. The balance that Jesse just reported on that account was $50,102.37. It's hasn't been used in quite a while, and I noticed that in March of 2017, the balance of that account was $21,000. October 2017, that balance was down to $20,000, and in January of 2018, the balance was $13,804. So it can be used, and I really was leery about asking to take money out of there, but I've been dealing with the Rhodey Law Firm to keep them off our backs since they sent us that demand letter earlier this year. They've been pretty patient with us, and we're making giant progress, like they said. But we haven't made a payment to them now in a couple of months. And what I proposed was that we transfer $20,000 out of that fund this week. And we have enough in the general operating checking account that we can add a little bit more to it and send a payment. If we can do that again in January, granted that would take that fund down to about $10,000, a little bit over $10,000. But the billing for the standby fees goes out
End of this month.
So we can start to replenish that fund as we should. We talked about that in this meetings before. So if we do that, that's going to get us down to owing them about in the range of $30,000, and then maybe we can back off a little bit, send $10,000 a month for 2-3 months, or we'll see how things progress. But for the next couple of months, I'd like to make those 2 payments just to keep in with what we've been doing, show them that we're committed to paying it down. And we really don't want them down here snooping around and trying to find out why they're not getting their money, which I don't blame them. That's a lot of money. I'd want to do if they owed it to me. So anyway, I'd like to, if there's any other discussion, if there isn't any.
Yeah, I got something to say.
Okay.
The agenda item doesn't say where the money comes from to go into the general operations checking account.
Okay, right. Well, it would be coming from the reserve standby, whatever, I can't.
The water restricted reserve.
Yeah, the water restricted reserve fund.
Yeah, the non-USDA one, but, okay, that'll probably work since the majority of the legal expenses that I've seen all have to do with water.
Yeah,
I mean, it has to do with water. I'm not gonna argue about whether or not it's necessary or not, but it has to do with water. What we gotta be careful of, the reason why you brought up, let's say where it came from, is because our fiscal year, of course, isn't a calendar year. It's now till, June 30th, 31st, 30th. And, what's gonna happen come springtime is we're gonna have expenditures for the pool. And, between now and then, we're gonna have expenditures for the grading being done on the roads. Those are two positive places you can think of our money going come, from now till, our next fiscal.
right.
And, we're not set up. All of our accounts are water accounts except for the FNS account.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't use any of the other accounts to fund grading or the swimming pool or anything else out of those water accounts. So we're gonna be, pretty much stuck with whatever we have in the FNS.
Well, we have a lot of money coming in the SNS.
Most of it's already come in, I believe, on the FNS. We're looking at standby coming up. And, yes,
Is
FNS,
that correct? Most of our FNS money has come in for the year?
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
it has grown a little bit, throughout the recent month. The FNS, fund has gone up a little bit, it seems.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, and I would agree with that, and I do not want to take anything out of FNS. We got almost $41,000 in there now, and I know, like you said, we're going to have expenses with road grading and the pool this summer and whatnot. So yeah, I would go along.
And FNS trickles in throughout the year too. I mean, it's just not a lump sum.
Yeah.
It trickles in throughout the year.
That's what's gonna happen in the last month, I think it's trickle.
I think we're going to see that for a while.
I just wanted all the members to be aware that, we will have that quite a few expenses come spring and down through the end of June.
Yeah.
And almost all of those extra expenses are gonna have to come out of a non-water fund.
Right.
And we only have two non-water sources, and that's the, FNS account and, property taxes. Now, we don't, at this time know how much of the property taxes we pay because our accounting isn't set up that way, and the state direct deposits that money straight into our operations account, which is, written for checks.
Mhm.
So either you have to catch it when it goes in, or know what it is, or you just think, wow, I just got a windfall.
I know if Rohde Law Firm decides to turn around and sue us for all the money that we owe them, we're not gonna have a pool next year anyway. So we need to consider making sure we're covered.
Well, that's true. I'm just saying, you might want to shy away from using FNS fees.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I'm not asking for any FNS fees right now. On a side note, kind of along with what Otis was talking about, I found the grant money we get from Ontario County had been approved and nobody followed up on it. And I went down there on November 5th and submitted the paperwork that we needed to turn in to get that money. We did get it. It has been deposited to FNS, and we were in danger of losing it altogether because it has never been submitted.
How much?
This is $15,000.
And that's the trash.
Yeah, that's what it is for that.
Is there any water that's going to the golf course?
I mean, what?
Is there any water that y'all are paying that goes to the golf course?
I don't understand the question.
I mean, it was right along with the pool of being a debt. Spring water. I mean, it was like $30,000 a year to run that golf course up there. Are we doing anything?
It hasn't been.
Nothing to
The
the
last few years has not been. No, we backed off. We backed off the maintenance on the golf course and supplying water a couple of years ago. the Golf Course Association had taken that task over, and, as it has been discussed in great depth over the last 2 years, we don't have the money to support that operation. So they, our primary responsibility is to our customers, our water customers that receive water. And that's what we're trying to get this thing turned around, servicing our water subscribers. And that's our primary focus. And road grading through FNS and the swimming pool. Yes, sir.
I know that in the past we've heard that road grading was really expensive, but in reality, the equipment's paid for, so what we're looking at is an operator and fuel for about $50 in fuel and whatever the operator's wages are.
That's
So
correct.
it's a lot less than what
We had previous people that were telling us it's $150, $300 an hour to operate a grader. We know that's not true.
it's fuel and labor.
We can buy that grader
And
10 times over.
And fuel labor, well, the insurance is everything.
Yeah, but for some reason, those people were adding depreciation every time they took a career out.
But it's a grant.
I know it's bad,
Yeah.
but that's why it's so silly.
So, yeah.
So,
So they keep coming up with this ridiculous per hour. What they wanted to do, they wanted to set a conversation based around, it runs $150 an hour to run that road grader. So we're gonna take that money out of F&S, that $150 an hour, and put it in general fund. Well, that's not the way it works, but that's the way they were working it.
Who's that?
That's why we never had any F&S. We weren't building any funds, because they were rating the F&S funds to the tune of $150 or $200 an hour for grader cut, and the grader was given to us on grant. So we, like Otis said, we're out a little bit of motor oil, a little bit of fuel, and the cost of the operator, which is less, probably 30, 35, $40 an hour. Well, I mean, we can put a number to it, but it's way less than what they were rating it.
the grader's pretty good on diesel.
It is,
Mm.
yeah, I agree. I agree, so,
And the new one doesn't burn that much oil.
no,
You know, the old one doesn't either. It's just leaks oil, but it doesn't burn oil.
Yeah.
But that's good for the road, right? A little extra oil.
yeah,
And,
I'm not sure EPA would agree with us on that.
well, we don't, let's not talk to EPA about it. But as far as like the golf course goes, in future years, depending on what kind of deal is made with PDC and stuff like that, there probably will, in my opinion, there'll probably be money allocated to the golf course from TWSD, but not the next year or two. It's going to be really dry. We're going to really be sucking it up. We're at almost flat zeros on all of our backup accounts.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another
I don't
day.
think the pool's
Okay.
gonna open.
Okay, just to finish up, I'm not asking for money out of FNS. I think I agree we need that alone until down the road. But I think with the $20,000 each time, these next two payments, the transfers that I'm asking for, and I think there will be a little bit left over that I can add to that out of the general operating fund, because over the last month, I've been catching up on a lot of invoices that were swept under the rug or hidden from us. I've got us pretty well paid up, everybody right now, on outstanding invoices. In fact, I think I've got them all paid, and it's just the recurring monthly that we have. And so I think we'll be good.
Okay, we need a clarification in the motion.
Okay, and then I make a motion that we approve two transfers of $20,000 each from the special reserve restricted fund to the general operations checking account, one in November of 2024 and one in January of 2025, to make payments to the Rhodey Law Firm.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Proceed with the payment for road. Item number 4, discuss, approve, disapprove water advisory committee. And I want to say a little something leading into this. Of course, this has been my view. Anything that detracts from day-to-day water business, or detracts from the office and the office staff doing their job, I don't feel it's a benefit to us. unless it's a totally separate entity on the outside. I personally, and I do not, Jessica can attest to this, I don't go into the office unless I'm asked to go in there. That office is nothing to do with me. Ed has business in there. Otis, of course, that's his domain. That's his ship, that's his wheelhouse. So I don't want a lot of activity going on inside our office that's going to hinder our day-to-day operations, either with the office staff or the field crew. These people, we have a dedicated crew of folks, both office and field, that are on a mission. And we need to put that mission as number one objective with the water department right now. And that's all I have to say. So that's my part of the discussion.
Okay, well, to add to that, last meeting, we did approve the reestablishing the bylaws committee. Arden Shug is going to head that committee up, and I questioned him about it. So what was involved, what are you gonna need? And the impression I got was that it was all outside. He was gonna go and find the maps that he needed to do this and that. Then I found out the very next day he shows up in the office demanding to go in there and do business back in the office. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but we're still not there yet. And having these distractions of coming in and demanding this, demanding that, it's not working. Jessica has been working miracles in there. God bless her. And she's got the additional distraction now of training 2 new people who are, from all accounts, are doing phenomenal. She's doing a good job training them. But she's training them and doing her job plus the administrative assistant job and a whole bunch of other stuff that's getting dumped on her lap. A lot of nonsense from people filing papers just to be a nuisance. She's taking care of those, so we really don't need extra distractions in the office. And we talked about it as a board before, and we said, that's the way it is, that the office spaces are closed to the public. Otis is in the employee manual. He's in charge of all security for TWSD. He keeps the doors locked, the gates locked, and that's the way the office staff wants it, and I support that 100%.
Let's see, what about you, Vince?
Sure.
Of course, I can't tell what Arden's gonna do or not do. I guess he's in charge of the water advisory, more or less, if it's formed. But they don't have to meet in the office. They don't have any reason to have to be in the office. If they need certain materials, they can go through Otis like the rest of us do. But I am a proponent of committees because the board members up here don't have time to do the legwork on stuff like this. We do have things that would be nice to find out, and committees report to us. They have no authority or power on their own. They just find things out and report them to us, and if we see fit to do something, we do it. As a matter of fact, I want to suggest another committee, but I don't see why that should. In the past, it hasn't hurt the office staff whatsoever. Now, if they're going to be coming into the office and wandering around, yeah, I can see.
What did happen before?
Okay.
Yeah. It did happen, and it cost us a brand new employee because y'all came in and bombarded her in her office. You took over her computer when she was signed into it. We've since then have had issues on our computer. So that's why we've locked down the office again, because it has happened, and we don't want it to happen again. We don't want anybody in the office that doesn't need to be there. So
well, let's just say it's not going to happen again. I mean, don't allow the committees into the office. If they want something, they shouldn't be allowed to be around for it.
Yeah, I've actually been one that's said that before, and it came in anyway.
We used to have those meetings, like the water committee, all these committees met in a small conference room, and there was a whole collection of maps of the whole system, and all that type of documentation was in there. So people would just go there, do their meetings, and there they have it at the meeting. Why would that work? That
Well,
way you keep your maps here in-house.
as much as we talk about all this, it seems that it always reverts to people want to get in the office.
Okay,
And we've had that reoccurring issue over and over again. And I can't clarify enough, we don't want anybody other than office staff, general manager, in the office, in the storage period.
Are you locking the gate?
We are.
Mhm.
We're locking everything.
It's physically locked
Is
all day.
Arden still getting in?
Who?
Is it Arden?
He keeps coming into the office asking for the manager.
No, I think the board right now is anticipating what might happen.
Well, it has happened. That's a
Well,
problem.
one time, yeah, and that really has been corrected as far as I'm concerned.
Well, before this, you were on this board. We had a similar problem with board members going in there and hanging out and hanging all over and sitting in chairs and taking up their good air and good space. That, Jessica, correct me if I'm wrong, were the board members previously a problem in that office?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And previously, the board members ran that office.
Well, they shouldn't have been running that.
No, they shouldn't have.
No. That's why
Right.
we're trying to prevent anything from happening like that again.
I know that you were in the office before you retired.
Oh, yeah.
And they were rearranging your furniture.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is their sanctuary. This is the office workers' sanctuary. And when we have people go in there and want to mess with their sanctuary, I have serious problems.
Well, you can't keep track of your files when too many hands are on it.
That's all. All that's good supporting. We had stuff going everywhere and we didn't know where it was, and bills being shoved in drawers. And I mean, when Ed walked in that place, it was an absolute sight. And it's taken him months to get through that.
Well, it's my opinion that the board needs committees. And if the board would like to set down ground rules, like maybe table this until ground rules are set down, that'll be great, but you can't get rid of committees.
Okay, well, let me respond. I agree. Some of these committees, you know, I served on one of the bylaws committee back when I first moved up here. And that needs to be revisited. There's some things in the bylaws that are out of date and confusing. So I know some of these committees, bylaws, the finance committee, budget committee, things like that, I agree wholeheartedly. But I would like to make the motion that we table these until, like you say, the board can get together and set on the ground rules and make it understood, and maybe have an agreement signed by all the board members or the committee members that this is the ground rules that they will abide by. No exceptions.
You know, we could do that probably at the, it wouldn't hurt to have a non-disclosure agreement signed at the same time by most of the committees.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm for that.
Okay, so I would make the motion that we table item 4 under old business and item 1, 2, and 3 of the items in new business until a later date, and we'll have to come up with a date later because I don't know when that might be. Because, well, we have to discuss the next meeting, we can do that during the discussion of who this, because we're getting into the holidays.
Well, the 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 1, 2, whatever you wanted to group that in with Arden's water advisor,
Yes,
because they're totally different committees.
I know that, but we need to set down the ground rules and the NDA for all the committees,
Oh, well,
and then we'll go from there.
the other committees that I had suggested on new business, basically for the next month and a half or 2 months, they're going to be reading all the documentation of the district. They'll have no reason to be able to watch. So I don't really agree with tabling them. You know, they can have the rules applied to them, but I really wanted to get whoever wanted to get on that committee, or I think we gave an option either the current bylaws committee or a whole new committee. I would like to get the documentation out to them so they can start becoming familiar with everything that governs TWSD.
Well, they can do that now. We've got copies of, or in fact, the bylaws are posted on the website, and the,
Yeah, I didn't want to really, I really believe that, we probably shouldn't go this direction, but, for various reasons, the bylaws that we have right now are probably not legal. I mean, they were, approved wrong by, Spanky.
they were,
Yeah,
I agree with all this, but I also agree that we're approaching the holiday season. We're going through a major upgrade in software in the office. We really don't have any time to talk to anybody. I think this should be tabled till after the first, until we get through some of our difficulties. This software upgrade is going to be monumental in its scope and getting our office with operation. I think personally this is a diversion from what we really need to be getting done till after the first of the year, when we have a little bit more breathing room to think about things. Because no matter what we say, and I can virtually guarantee it, there's going to be questions and documents and everything else requested that we really don't have time to do right now. But after the first of the year, I can see this working okay. That's my personal feeling.
and there's not, like I said, there's nothing to stop, anybody forming a committee right now.
us, we have to form the committee.
We're supposed to be on it. But
Well, no, we have to form it. We have to form a ad hoc committee, which is what most of these are.
okay, but that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to get together and look at the bylaws and say, well, that looks out of date, or this looks, and then they can do their homework now. They don't have to be an official committee. We can form that later.
So is it my board members, fellow board members' opinion that the committees aren't needed?
No, I'm not
You
saying
didn't say
that.
Not needed right now.
Right,
I'm saying right now. 'Cause I think we can wait a month or two to make it
We
official.
got too much on our plate when it's the end of the year, holiday season, new reader, non-working readers, new software. We've
Annual
got all
reads.
these things which could be wrapping up around mid-January.
Mhm.
And so we'll have more breathing room to actually take on more projects. And any way we talk about this, it's gonna be a project. I mean, it's gonna require time and dedication from people and some additional information from the office. I believe. That's why I'm for tabling this till after the first of the year, we can revisit all of these committees.
Okay, well, that's my amended motion, is that we table these items until after the first of the year.
So just to clarify, number 4 under old business, number 1, 2, and 3 under new business.
Yes. Yes.
And
About
four,
number 4.
and four,
Yeah, and four,
and four,
And
four,
four.
five.
And 4 under
and
small
four.
business, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And five's the brief.
and five. Well,
Well, 5, no, I'm excluding 5 from that.
4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
yes,
Yes.
Okay.
okay. We have a motion. We have a second.
Well, if Ed makes the motion to table it until the first part of next year, those things, I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. It's tabled till after the first of the year. Thank you. Next item we need to discuss is item number 5. Jesse Duckett would like to have a briefing by Kyle, the IT contractor, to the board of directors on all security changes done, date, cost, future expected upkeep expenses. I don't know if we're prepared for that, are we, Kyle? You are?
Well,
Okay.
Michelle, I'd like to go into the closed session.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and finish up the rest of our business, and then we'll go into closed session, executive session. Basically, what we have left, is there any questions from the from the audience on anything that we've talked about? Okay, director's remarks. We have a serious ongoing problem with bad actors in our community. They're trying their best, and some of these are not even water subscribed. They don't have water accounts, but they're trying to constantly cause trouble at the PRC level, New Mexico state level. And these bad actors, and we have a few of them, have caused us to lose time, office staff time, and attorney fees to have to answer these questions that are just nonsense. And a lot of these situations with these bad actors are from people that have chips on their shoulders over past circumstances or involvement with the water department. We're not here to babysit somebody's emotions. We're not here to babysit people that don't feel like they're getting enough attention. We're here, and you've heard me say this 50 times, we're here to produce quality water for our community in the best way we can without having any future water rate increases. As we know, the previous board wanted to do repetitive rate increases, one after the other after the other. Well, a lot of this attorney bills we're paying from Rhodius from that last water increase. So did we gain anything? Absolutely not. Can we sustain ourselves on the water income we have coming in currently? Absolutely, after we get all this stuff taken care of. So if you hear of anybody that wants to take action against us, please ask them, and for the sake of our whole community, this is not good for us or anybody. We're trying to do what's right up here. The changes we've had made in the last 4 months have been phenomenal. There's been positive changes moving us into the future. But every time we have somebody, these bad actors that start acting up, it sets us back. We have our girls in the office have to answer, we have to respond. Ed has to communicate with our lawyer. We have to pay the lawyer retainers. It's just a bad situation. But that's all I have to say. Please, as a community, discourage people that want to try to take our water department to task over something that doesn't mean two hoots about the way this department. They're not going to change anything. They're just complaining. If you have a valid complaint about something that's going on in the water department, come to us with a solution. You know, it's easy to complain. It's hard to fix. So some of these things, and Otis has been, look at the work he's done, just a few weeks. Amazing. We haven't had an involved general manager like this for, I can't tell you, years. We have somebody that's here for us, doing all the right things, bringing in grant money, doing all the great things for us. So let's give this general manager a chance to really make something out of this water department. That's all I have to say. Okay, if there's no further comments, we need a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion. Oh, before we adjourn?
Okay.
Well, then I'll make a motion that we go into closed session at this time.
We have a motion for executive session. Do we have a second?
Do we have to give a general explanation of what the closed session is for?
I'm taking notes.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're in executive session. Thanks everyone for coming. Appreciate your participation. We need Kyle. We need Kyle to stay behind the wood, please. Front and center. You've got a microphone right there, Andy.
You guys come back.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Okay. Well, we'll give it a shot.
See you later. Okay.
Yep.